Imagine the biting cold and relentless wind cutting through the air as you sculpt something beautiful. Something that will soon vanish. Why make art in such harsh conditions? For this artist, it's not merely about his creations, but something deeper.
Ice sculpting for me has always been really fascinating because not only is the art really amazing, but also these people are using a medium that's going to melt. And for myself, that's a little bit hard to understand because why create something that's going to disappear? But apparently for thousands of years, that's what people have been doing. Again, it's a little hard to find specifics about when ice sculpting really started because it melts. Now, I thought that was going to be one of the cruxes of the story because I think it's an interesting concept. But when I spoke to a local ice sculptor, he actually had a different perspective and it kind of opened my eyes to different possibilities when creating things. For now, all you have to know is his name's Julian Lee and he goes by the Iceman.
I think it's more like in my DNA. Give me something and tell me to sculpt, I would give it full-hearted. In my head, there's a lot of ice carving happening there. I'm designing ice, I'm feeling the ice. A commercial ice, 300 pounds, extremely heavy, and it's slippery. And most of the time you work in extreme environment where the extreme situation face you. What are you going to do? Quit? Or are you going to keep your head cool and work your way into it and figure out how to get it done? Ice that we're using for ice carving is directional, so it slowly freezes it up from bottom up, and that's why it's so transparent. When it warms up, turns into transparent, it actually transforms itself into something so attractive. You see how it starts to change?
Yeah, it's very fast.
When you first see ice, you touch it. It's cold. It seems to be hard, but it's not really as hard as like a metal. But when it's becoming a little bit warmer, transparent, if you touch it, it's actually a bit soft.
Is it? Could I try?
Oh yeah, and it's not as cold as you think ice could be. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you touch here, it's like really nice and smooth and soft, isn't it?
That's so cool.
Yeah. One day I saw it on news. They were interviewing this chef who's carving ice. That caught my eye. I want to work for him. He said, Julian, you are one of the rare people who is able to see three-dimensional in your head, in your eyes. When I found that out, I realized I'm not going to hold you back. I let you free.
Julian is able to see 3D images in his mind and then manipulate those images, move around them, and then create those into the ice. He can see the depth. He can see all of this before he even creates it. So it makes sense why he connects with his art so much because he's using his mind and his body to create it. Now, when it comes to our minds, there's a few different ways that people think. Some people think in images, some people think in words, and some people don't even have an inner monologue. So try this out with me quick. Close your eyes and think about an apple. What do you see? Do you see an apple in 3D? Do you see a 2D image of an apple? Do you see the word apple, where words associating to apple? Or do you see nothing at all? For me, I can see the word apple, but I can also see it in 3D, but not to the same extent as people like Julian because I can't manipulate it and can't move around it, and there's definitely no way that I'd be able to then create that image into art from a block of ice. So the fact that people like Julian can see so much more is really interesting. We're gonna be seeing the Iceman in action. Julian is gonna be carving some really neat sculptures out of ice today, and we're gonna kind of see what it's all about, see him doing his thing in his element, And I've never personally seen this before, so I'm actually excited to see how he does it, how he transforms an opaque block of ice into some transparent, intricate art.
When I do live carving in front of people, you basically have 3 seconds or even 2 seconds to convince them to stay. So you always want to have a little bit more fun. Number one choice for ice carving, chainsaw. You need to make it smooth, so that's where the hot iron comes in. Ice also have depth, right? You see it in your head, hopefully you can make it so you can see it with your eyes. The ice does not last, so it gets everybody go there at a certain time, in a certain place to meet and mingle. I never feel sad about the ice melted away. Somehow I always under the impression that I will be carving another piece even better than this one. And that's what artists in ice carving do. We change, or at least I do.
The art you're seeing in this video is already gone. But when it comes down to it, it's not just about the art that Julian's creating, it's about what the art's able to give him. The ice melts, his creations disappear, but what's left is actually a better understanding of himself.
People think when we sculpt or do artwork, we want to show people something. That's very true. But when you actually look deeper into it, maybe that's only 30% of it. 70% of it actually reach into yourself and try to find what's in there. I want to meet my feeling. I want to meet myself. The inner self that I kind of not knowing so well, even though we lived together for many years, day and night. Science, we design a rocket. We want to go to the moon. Is that what that is? Go to the moon? Or actually to explore the unknown? So the answer is not go to the moon. It actually went beyond the moon. And why do you want to go to the unknown? Now, there's a whole lot more questions to be answered. So scientists, artists, I think we are all trying to reach the same point. When I sculpt, I'm actually connecting with myself, my deeper self.